The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, episode number 385, this 25th day of March 2024. Tonight's show, as always, brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great articles and other podcasts. And on Wednesday night, we're doing I'm hosting a Belly Up Super Show. Kicking off the Major League Baseball season on Wednesday night. So if you guys want to tune into that, check your local listing. I think it's at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We've got a couple of guys joining us for that one. And thank you for everybody who listens to our show or watches on YouTube or at the Belly Up YouTube channel. We had a pretty good turnout for people watching our show. Shohei Ohtani show was on Belly Up there, Dave. One of our biggest downloads and watches that show. And we had a guy. He decided to. Oh, how you doing, Dave? Been a week.
I'm doing okay. The weather, being an old man, I got to talk about the weather. It's turned. There's still a shit ton of snow out there, but you know what? It was a pleasant, sunny day today. Stuff's melting, and I'm in a better mood now than I was on Thursday when it was just hammering us with the white stuff.
I calculated 16 inches of the white stuff fell down between whatever day to whatever day, measuring in the backyard yesterday, and so it might have been a little bit of melting, but yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of snow, and now the roads, everything's just a fucking mess.
Yeah, if you're not on a main road, it's goofy in this part of this neck of the woods. They plow the main roads, obviously not the sides. It's a city. But because of all the sun we got today, all the main roads are dry, black pavement. If you got it on a side road, oh man, it's ridiculous. And this weekend, Kaylee and I pushed out Kaylee didn't. She watched me push out 2 guys just doing a dog walk on Saturday afternoon. There's so much snow, and you got morons trying to drive a car. And yeah, it's a funny thing. I think I've mentioned before. One guy, he was just spinning his tires, and I said, "If you want to get out of here, you push, and I'm going to drive." And we were out in 2 minutes.
Yeah, if people think their tires are turned and they're still going to get out of the situation, you never will. It's a wreck.
Wow. But nonetheless, we go on, the weather's turning, and it's a Monday, and we're not going to complain because it's a Monday today because. Friday's a holiday.
Friday's a holiday.
4-day work week. Oh, I forgot about that. And look at us.
There you go. We're one day closer to bliss. Anyways, on Thursday night we hit the Ohtani stuff. Actually, a pretty good show. I thought we hit it before everybody else did on throughout the week, and then today the big news came. He had a press conference. He didn't say anything, but I thought our show was really good. We didn't say anything really derogatory. We just said that things kind of stunk a little bit. That things weren't on the up and up, and there was something wrong. Anyways,
that made us go hum.
What's that?
That CC in the Music Factory. Things that make you go hmm.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? So anyways, MattyMan 5 Dodge 101, because there's a handle, MattyMan 5 Dodge 101. He decided to comment on the Belly Up YouTube channel that we post that on. He said, only your moms and their sisters have watched this video, but here goes anyways. You're Dodger haters. You've hated Ohtani since he signed with them. You would take him on your broke down team, whatever it is, in a heartbeat. Do something else with your time. This isn't for you. That's from MattyMan 5 Dodge 101. So obviously he didn't listen to what we had to say. He didn't watch the whole show and everything else. MattyMan 5 Dodge 101. Give me a call. We could have a little discussion or watch the whole thing. And we could. I'm not upset with MattyMan. Maybe he did watch the whole thing. Maybe misinterpreted. But I don't think MattyMan caught the whole drift of what we were getting at there, Dave.
I don't think MattyMan has a fucking clue if this is what he's seeing. Like, I would love 5 minutes, MattyMan, anytime, any show, any Monday or Thursday, or you know what? I'll even make time on a fucking Saturday afternoon when you get back from daycare. That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I'm actually my second favorite team actually in Major League Baseball is the Dodgers, and then so he obviously didn't watch this show very long or couldn't. So whoever your team is, if you see over my shoulder, there's a bunch of Yankee shit over my shoulder. So MattyMan, you got to get a clue, dude. I'm not upset with you. Like I'm not like we take the good with the bad here at the 1420 Sports Bar podcast, but I think MattyMan is a little bit misled.
Yeah, and like he must have that copy and pasted. So like he just searches for Ohtani hate, even though we weren't hating. And thank you. Even though we weren't hating on it, we were just discussing the situation and what we thought was suspicious circumstances. And whatever. More the merrier, MattyMan. We need some contrary opinions every now and then.
MattyMan, if you're more than welcome to come on the show as a guest at any point in time. If you can find your way out of your Dodge to come and have a conversation with us, you'll be more than welcome to join us on the 1420 Sports Bar podcast for beer and sports talk and a whole lot more. And
the basements we are in are our own.
Yes, and my mother does not watch this, nor does my sister. So.
My mother wouldn't tolerate this kind of language.
No, my mother, I think she listened once 3 years ago and she goes, "This isn't for me, is it, Brent?" I said, "No, it's not really meant for your demographic, Margaret, senior citizen, elderly widow. It's not really your thing." So one of those things. Anyways, Dave, we'll get off the MattyMan thing. People get a kick out of that. Friday night, went to the Hurricanes game. Lethbridge was playing the Medicine Hat Tigers, last home game of the season. So we went for the regular season, and they had the kiss cam about 10 minutes left in the third period. The kiss cam comes up. No, they do. Yeah, it's I wasn't on it. That's not where we're going. No, they didn't put me and Deanne's mugs up on the big screen, but the kiss cam came on. We were watching it. You kind of look around the arena, the Sportsplex or NMAX or whatever it's called, and you see where the camera is. No, it was over there. It's just not very far from where we were sitting. So anyways, a woman stood up. They're on the camera. A woman stood up, got down on one knee, and proposed to her boyfriend. And he shook his head. He didn't nod his head. He shook his head. Like, I don't know if he said, "Not now. This isn't a good time," or whatever it was. And it got kind of silent and awkward. And then Tony Days was standing there like, "Oh, Jesus." Oh,
the game day host. He was.
Yeah, the game day host was there like,
"Oh, goodness.
Oh, no. And the guy shook his head. He's like, "Nope." And he shook his head again. "Nope." And 24, 25-ish. Well, so the girl, she fucked off, took off up the stairs, and the guy sat there by himself. And it was a 2-1 hockey game at that point. I didn't watch the last 9 minutes of the hockey game because I was looking across the arena at this guy's reaction. And there was a bunch of kids behind him because they were oblivious to what really happened, kids being kids, waving their shirts in the air. And this guy's sitting there all by himself like, "Oh, this is awkward." The wife never came back down. And then with about 2 minutes left, right before the Hurricanes score, with about a minute and a half left, some guy came down to a buddy of his to talk to this dude. And then he grabbed their baby, like a baby who can't walk. He grabbed their baby, put his coat on, walked up the stairs. Needless to say, Dave, it was awkward. And then Tony, before he said what the 50-50 draw was, he goes, "Hi, I'm Tony Days. This is the 50-50 draw. Been ruining relationships since 1993. So this girl set up the deal, obviously, to get on the kiss cam and on and on.
For sure.
And then dude said no. So then after the game, we're leaving the parking lot, and I see this guy still carrying his baby, like not a year old, this baby, right? Like young.
Like didn't have a basket or a stroller or anything?
No, he was carrying it.
Oh,
so he was walking back across the parking lot to get back into the building.
Oh no.
Oh, it weren't good, man. It was one of those ones. Like, I'm glad it wasn't at a Yankee game or a Broncos game and just at a Hurricanes game, because
It was awkward as fuck. Mesmerizing, but awkward.
Thank God I don't like. Yeah, you feel bad for that. Like when something is so awkward, such as that, it's just like, where does the humor end? Because you're actually feeling bad for said person. Like I feel bad for both. Like, I've watched enough Law and Order over the years that when you're in the court as a lawyer, you never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Yeah.
Never has courtroom wisdom transferred to real life more than that. If you're going to ask someone to marry you, you got to know the fucking answer.
Especially in front of 5,000 people.
It
was a sold out barn, man.
Never do it in front of, never, ever do a public fucking, like I feel bad for the guy more so than the woman asking the question. A, because of the role reversal. B, because it's now public humiliation. And C, she asked a question that she didn't know the answer to.
Well, that's what Deanne said. She goes, she obviously doesn't know the guy, or maybe he had something planned. He was going to propose that like on the weekend, or who knows? I don't.
Yeah, maybe she was stealing his thunder.
His
maybe
thunder
he had
a little bit. Like,
yeah,
it was fucking awkward.
Like,
and the people behind us, they were watching too. They went, "Oh, how did that? This isn't going to turn out well. What's going on?" And then Deanne, she said to me, she said, "What would you do in that situation if I did it?" I said, "Well, I know you won't have to, where you wouldn't." But then what I would have done is I would have said no. But then because I would been forced to, I would have got down on one knee myself and then asked her, like just to break up the situation. But I think the best thing that guy could have done to try to save face, even if he didn't want to get married to the girl at this point, they have a kid. So obviously now.
Maybe it's not his kid.
He should have just said yes. And then kissed her. And then on the drive home, say, "Listen, we got to talk about this a little bit." Like that, like what he did was the right move, because if he doesn't want to or whatever at the time is proper, but you handle that a little bit differently.
Yeah,
no,
but when you got a fucking gun to your head, though, you don't know what exactly you're gonna do.
Well, who knows what could have happened? I don't know what. Like, I think they're from Pitcher Butte, just up the road here, because there's a Pitcher Butte hockey team behind them and stuff and things and la da 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 da. But do you say yes and go, "Okay, I didn't mean it," on the drive home, or did this guy make the right move and say, "Nope, I'm good"? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, neither do I, and I'm glad that I'm never gonna have to understand how he felt like at that very moment. I think as long as he didn't embarrass her, aside from saying, no.
She was embarrassed.
Wow,
she fucked off up the stairs. She was gone.
And we never saw her again.
Never saw her again.
No, she's like, well, that's. I do have sympathy, but I also don't, because you just don't do that to someone force them into saying yes. And once again, we don't know if that's his kid. Maybe she brought that kid to the relationship. We don't know that's.
Well, I think it's his, because he was taking really good care of it on the way, because
maybe he's just such a good man.
Or the mom was still sitting in the bathroom crying or fucking Snapchatting with her friends or whoever the fuck, because they're about that demographic, right? Like,
when you say like Pitcher Butte, they couldn't have been Pitcher Butte, because those Pitcher Butte people are a lot of Dutchmen, right? And if a Dutchman's going to save $3-4 grand on an engagement ring, he's going to take that opportunity in a heartbeat. So if the woman asks you to get married, then maybe you're going to save that chunk of change on the diamond.
Did she buy it? Right on. You buy another fucking watch with Billy, whatever the fuck his name is.
Wasn't a Dutchman, because he would have said yes just for the simple fact it saved him a couple K on a ring.
MattyMan 5 Dodge 101 would have got a fucking free wedding ring out of that one. Fuck. Yeah, so before I saw Tony as I was leaving the building, and I fucking put up that, he goes, Oh man, he says the people in the media booth were watching this guy like, what's going on? Because they had a bunch of graphics set up ready for like he said yes and on it went.
Oh, like fireworks and
then it
stuff,
just didn't happen. Like it didn't happen. They're like, oh fuck.
Bop,
Oh.
bop,
It was fucking. It wasn't good, but a good hockey game too. It's 3-2 overtime win by the Tigers. That was a good hockey game. It was fun. Anyways, the guy could yeah. If you don't know,
like she just ruined everybody's night, right?
No, it made it better. It made it better because it was something to talk about. Like, fuck.
No, everybody in her circle. She
in the group. Oh yeah. Because she may have had like let's get her a deeper dive in this. It's not sports talk or whatever. Like she may have had a shaker set up or a dinner set up afterwards.
Like, could you imagine that? Let's go to Legends for a well, no, but they were dragging around a kid.
So maybe they're going to go to that restaurant in Pitcher Butte, that steakhouse or whatever. Or they had a Saturday night engagement party rolled up and just nope, that ain't happening.
Everybody's waiting in the basement of the house. Say, get out of there. You got 1.5 hour. You got 30 minutes. There's a 35-minute
drive. There's 10 minutes left in the third period. This time, the time to get back to fucking Pitcher Butte.
Pack up the stacks, break down the bar, take down the streamers,
burn the fucking, throw the cake in the garbage.
I don't like. What are we supposed to do with it? I don't care. Just be gone.
I hate Billy Dodge 101, whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, I hate
MattyMan 5 Dodge 101. I hate his guts.
He doesn't realize how lucky he is. Well, maybe he knows you better than you know you.
Oh,
sweetheart.
Not a good situation. Anyways,
terrible. How old was this couple?
25.
Okay, so they're still dumb. That'll be a story to tell the grandkids. The time I said no to your granny.
Your grandma.
Tell the story when granny had proposed to you at the hockey game.
In front of 5,000. You said no.
And you pie-faced her.
How to start a fight in fucking 4 words or less. Oh, fuck, man. I was just like, wow.
Well, I hope those 2 kids figure it out.
I hope those crazy kids figure it out. Anyway, speaking of not figuring it out, Dave, the New York Islanders made a coaching change earlier on this season. It went to Patrick Waugh, 11-11-4 since they made the coaching change. So they're the exact same team that they were. Lou Lamoriello went with an NHL legend. And I always shake my head when these guys who are legends, they get these kind of deals that they end up being head coaches. And I don't know, like you look at how Gretzky, when he coached the Tampa or the Phoenix Coyotes, I wrote it down, 143, 161, and 24 record in his time as 4 years as a head coach. Having a legend as come as a head coach, especially in hockey, maybe basketball as well, how you can look at the players that you're coaching and explain anything when things came a lot easier to you. Like with Waugh, like how does he have any kind of a conversation with a goaltender when he lets in 4 or 5 bad ones, or the goalie coach and go like, what's going on here? And like, what is that? What's that goalie coach going to say to Patrick Waugh, or what's the goalie to say to Patrick Waugh? Or on the flip side, when you have a guy like Gretzky, who obviously is a legend, and he had 11 100 assist seasons, and he looks at guys like, how can't you make that pass? Like, what's going on here? Like, is there a point where you become so legendary that your role in the game is kind of is gone because you're just too good, and you can't communicate what you can do with the rest of you, with the team you inherited?
I think specifically in hockey is where we see it a couple of times. Like, like those 2 examples, all-time greats, like top 5 Mount Rushmore goalies, Mount Rushmore players. You can't coach what you've done and on the ice yourself. And the reason you were so great wasn't because of X and O's. It wasn't because of positioning. You can tell people what you did to prepare. You can tell people, but you can't draw it up. because your skill set was so elite.
Something between the ears. That's just
exactly, and you can't coach that. You can try and talk about it, and you can't X and O it. And so when players of Gretzky and Roy's talent, I don't understand why they would even want to. Well, I guess I do understand. It's because they want to maintain, keep being a part of the game, and they don't have the necessary tools to take the leap into the head office, like people like Yzerman, like people like Sakic, like people like who's it, Rob Blake running the show in LA right now. And then, so if you want to maintain if you want to maintain a connection to the game and be around the everyday part of the game, and then if coaching is the thing you have to do, I guess coaching is the thing you have to do. But like you say, it's something I don't understand as an all-time great. Like Roy and Gretzky are,
like, obviously Gretzky's the greatest player ever.
Period.
And Roy's probably like maybe Brodeur's ahead of him, maybe Hasek's ahead of him, but he's top 5 at the least.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Anyone that wants to put Roy outside the top 5 is not safe.
Maybe factor Fuhrer in there or something like along those lines,
or something, right? But like they're all-time greats, and their competitive fire burns so hard. I can only imagine it. And Roy, he doesn't have a domestic, but he has recorded rage issues, and to have someone like that running your team, and he rage quit the Colorado Avalanche, because he wanted more say. Yeah. And then Sakic said, like, fuck no, you're here to coach, and I'm here to run the fucking the roster. Well, then I'll quit. Don't let the door hit you. And it took Roy 5 years to get another job after that, because people don't want to deal with a fucking hothead who thinks so highly of himself that he has all the answers. And apparently, from what I read, it was a couple of weeks ago when he got this job, I was listening to the Elliot Friedman, Merrick, that 32 Thoughts podcast. And then Roy had to come. He was out there with his hat in hand. He thought he was going to get a job right away because I'm such a good coach. And people say, if you're going to be a fucking hothead and make demands, we don't fucking want you around here. And then he made a bit of an impact with the Islanders when he got there. But, like, who knows? Like, I don't know how good of a coach he is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, I find it, like you said, I find it odd that these guys take these jobs and just think that it's going to translate automatically into what they did on the ice themselves. And I don't think it works that way. Like, in fact, I know it doesn't work that way. You can't, because those guys have they had such instincts as a player, and the game is so much different than it was when they were stars. Obviously, Gretzky hasn't coached in like 10 or 15 years, wherever it's been, but how he could have expected to be successful when his expectations of himself were so high, but he exceeded at such a high level. And then you get to, you have like who was on that team, like guys like fucking Shane Doan and Tyson Nash and those guys,
Jeremy Roenick, and
who were dump and chase and crash and bang kind of guys that weren't finesse guys at all. And then you like, okay, well, what am I doing here? And like, obviously, it's Gretzky's hockey. I'm not disregarding Gretzky's hockey IQ. But, like, fuck, man, that's got to be a tough thing. And just the nerves that the players, let's go to the other side of things, the nerves that the players got to have thinking, oh, fuck, that's, like, look over the shoulder, that's Wayne Gretzky behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to do anything right. I'm not
going to, like, I'm nervous as shit. Like I want to ask him for an autograph every single fucking time I see him.
Yeah.
I just want to go to grab his shit. But on that Gretzky coaching Arizona there, that was, I want to say, in fact, I know for a fact that was a totally different animal, because he was given a bit of equity in the team, and he was there to.
They owed him money and stuff.
Correct.
And things and everything else. So he said, I'll do this. And yeah.
Right, and there was actually a little bit of a falling out between him and Bettman in the NHL, because of money owed and So since Gretzky's been the coach, it's honestly been 6-7 different ownership groups. They're on their fourth arena from there. It's just that situation's so nasty and so
Getting
convoluted.
Worse.
Yeah. And
we don't have time to get help about it. It's getting
we
worse
don't
again. I was reading stuff again about it. It's it's an absolute mess in Phoenix once again.
Yeah, because
Bettman actually has to just fucking eat it, because nobody would say, "I told you so." They'd say, "Thank you, finally," and that's it.
Well, and that's what on a different once again on that 32 thoughts they were talking about. There's going to be another vote, a plebiscite, of if the ownership group can buy this land to potentially build a rink. So they're that far away. There's minimum 5 years away from building a new rink, and you can't fucking have an NHL team play in a college rink
arena where guys are saying
for 6 goddamn years.
All their wives for fucking proposals, right?
So what they think is going to happen is, if this next thing fails, they're going to relocate Arizona, and then once someone comes in and actually has a rink, they will come back, like Atlanta. They're not.
Quit it though. Just don't.
Yeah, this franchise is a failure.
Isn't
get
working.
It? Put it in Houston. Put it in Salt Lake. Put it in Quebec City. Put it in Hartford. I don't give a fuck where, but it has to get yanked from there, because that's an embarrassment to any kind of pro
for
franchise.
A lot of years now.
Yeah, well, and we're going to see if Oakland can, the Oakland A's can one up them on an embarrassing team looking for looking for a home, looking for an actual place to play and figure it out, because Oakland's doing a good job trying to catch up to the Arizona Coyotes in this measure.
You wonder what Bettman, when he goes to bed at night, what he's thinking. I know nobody likes to admit that when they're wrong. I get that. I 100% get that. But eventually, we all finally admit, I blew it on this one. He's been blowing on this one for fucking 20 years.
All he thinks is it's the 5th biggest TV market in the U.S. We need to have a team here. That's all he thinks about.
But they don't watch hockey. That's what's got to get through his fucking head. Because I would when you go to Whitefish, I was down in Helen a few weeks back. Saturday night we were at fucking Buffalo Wild Wings. There was 2 college baseball games on, college basketball game on, and this is Montana, 4 hours away. It's not like we were fucking down in sunny Florida. Americans in general, it's a niche sport. They don't watch hockey. They don't. And Montana's a cold weather state.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Montana's a cold weather state. They don't have any kind of hockey thing going on. Maybe just because it's the population. But, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Boston, all those cold weather states, they got great hockey tradition. Even North Dakota, I noticed the hockey. That tournament was released, and even North Dakota's in there too. And that North Dakota, couple of NHL, that's where Taves played. You got a couple guys that played down in North Dakota.
No, there's certain states, but if you go in general, if you go down the West Coast, you go, and I'll include Montana in there. You go Montana, Idaho, Washington kind of plays a little bit, not much. Yeah, they have the Kraken now. Oregon has fuck all. California, yeah, you said they have their team, but Northern California has the Sharks, and that's it. That's huge population. Arizona, New Mexico. So if you go through how many states of the 50 states, they don't watch hockey.
Yeah, Colorado does. Of the western states, west of the Mississippi, I would say Colorado is probably the biggest one, right? And then everything else is just in the Northeast.
Yeah. So Bettman's got to get it through his head. Yeah, this fucking TV market, blah, blah, blah. But people don't give a fuck. They don't.
They don't. The average Joe would rather.
if they haven't done it since Gretzky got traded there in '88, they didn't jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, people in Nashville, actually, since they got scolded by their coach and got their sleeping flat
since they got the U2
by not going
concert.
to the U2 show.
They've been on fucking fire. Yeah,
15-0-2 since they got told, go home, you're not going to U2. So maybe a little bit of frontier justice doesn't fucking hurt a little bit when it comes to grown men sometimes.
Sometimes the carrot, it does work a little bit. I'm sorry, sometimes the stick is a little bit more of a motivator than this carrot, right?
Yeah. I saw a while ago they were doing all right. Then I heard yesterday or day before they're 15-0-2 since they got their fucking privileges revoked. Now, okay, so who's the bigger baby here? The players for not baby. So now the players should have done better.
Yep.
Than they did. So is it a worse look that they're doing better now?
I think
if it was in them, they'd be 48-3-6 right now.
It might have been just the wake-up call that was needed, right? If you're gonna and when we discussed that too, it was all about effort. It wasn't that the fact they lost a game. It was because they didn't show up and they didn't have their fucking heads in the game. And then the coach said, if you don't want to have your fucking heads in the game, then we're not going to do fun things. If you want to lollygag and fuck around, then this is what it's going to be. We're not.
Is this the 2019 St. Louis Blues scenario where they got their dick slapped and they might be playing U2 songs at whatever arena? Is it Bridgestone or Goodyear? It doesn't matter.
I think it's Bridgestone, but yeah, go ahead.
Bridgestone,
yeah.
is this?
I'm with you.
Are they playing U2 songs now? Because that would be classic. If all of a sudden U2 is their victory
rally
song,
tune, yeah,
whatever it might be, like it was in 2019 with the St. Louis Blues in Glory with Laura Branigan.
That would be awesome because of the podcast I do listen to. No one has Nashville was a seller. They've been a seller like the whole time. I think they even traded people away this year, and they're still there. And they just refuse to lose. And if this turns into a St. Louis run, I'm all for it. I am all for it. It would be awesome to see them. I like that franchise. I like the way that that city.
I like the way the fan base got into it. I like the way, around the arena. I've never been, but I hear that Tootsie's is a place to go before and after a game, and on it goes. Like it's if this turns out to be one of those runs, if they get past the second round, no, fuck it. If they get past the first round, you'll see me on the 1420 podcast wearing a fucking Nashville Predators. I'm not going to say jersey, but like a hoodie or a T-shirt or something.
A hat, a wife beater.
I will not wear a muscle shirt wife beater. I don't beat my wife or have muscles. So
would you?
I have skinnier arms and flailing, wavy, blow up inflatable guy.
What if it's Oilers Nashville second round?
Nashville.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'll cheer for whoever wins that series.
The Oilers put up a stinker in Edmonton or in Toronto on Saturday night. I watched that game. Holy Christ, that didn't go well with the Oil.
No, I didn't watch any hockey this weekend. I did obviously see the results, and then they follow that up with another stinker, and they lost to Ottawa the next day. Like Jesus Christ, I thought
Ottawa's trying to lose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, maybe it's the East Coast, and Edmonton's kind of locked in. They're not going to miss the playoffs, and
they're just what they are. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably going to play LA in the first round, and then it's like, we're not going to catch Vancouver. We're not going to drop out of the playoffs. So like we can put it in coast mode for a little bit. And there's a bunch of teams like that across the NHL, right? Where it's like, okay, let's start the fucking playoffs. We've
glad you brought that up because Bruins coach Jim Montgomery, he was a little pissy with his team right now because they're not playing hard and just not kind of going through the motions. They're 41-16-5, 92 points. They're obviously in the playoffs. They're second overall in the East right now. They're probably going to end up playing the Leafs again. They'll beat the Leafs again, whatever it's going to be. But he made a statement that basically this team's not ready. He basically called them horse shit for the last couple of games because they had a tough game against the Flyers a few days ago, and he kind of laid the groundwork for not my fault. Theirs is what I heard. Dave, when a coach right before the playoffs start, he says something along the lines of, "It's them, not me." Is that just trying to save your job, or is it setting himself up to succeed instead of fail?
It's just players know what's what. And, I as you were talking there, I actually did pull up the standings. And the Bruins are tied for first overall in the East with the Panthers at 97 points. They're not going to drop off. And, whether we host or not, do you give a fuck? They are, like you say, they're pretty much locked in to play the Leafs. So, big deal. We know who we're going to play. There's how many games left? There's 10 games left.
10 to 13 games for most teams.
Yeah. Now let's just think about the playoffs. We're building towards this. We're building. And that's what a coach does. It's not every game. Obviously you have to give 100% effort, and you have to
you don't.
You understand that it's not going to happen, but you don't ever take the ice planning to lose. There's some nights that are going to happen when you don't have it. But let's now work to the point where we have it every single fucking night, because in 3 weeks we do need to have it every single night. And that's a coach's job to not be a hard ass, like you say, with 10 games left in the season, when you got your playoff season and home ice locked up for the first round. But take your foot off the fucking gas. Let's have an unscheduled rain out per se, and let's be ready to roll come playoffs game 1, because that's what it's all about. That's what you have to get your team ready for. And this coach, maybe he's worried for his job because his team puked all over themselves last year against Florida.
After winning 70 games, whatever it was last year.
And being up 3-1 against an 8 seed. Like, that's on you, coach. I don't care.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I get it. Maybe this is on old Jimmy Montgomery saying, I'm going to protect my ass just in case it happens again.
Maybe, but then do something about it. You see it. You're around these guys all day, every day. If you see guys fucking around and doing shit, then call them out behind closed doors. Calling them out in front of the mic with the press around after, once again, another excellent season. And we talked about it last episode, within the last 2 episodes, how this franchise has really not delivered on the excellent play they've been delivering to their fan base since they beat Vancouver. They've been a better team in the last 10 years.
And that's 13 years ago.
Yeah. They've been a better team than Tampa Bay over the last 10 years, but Tampa Bay has 1.5 cups.
Has a half cup more.
Yeah. 1/2 cup more.
And since 2011, it's interesting to see how it all plays out in the next month before the no, it's not even months. Jesus, fucking 2.5 weeks before
2.5 weeks, and we're going to be there. Yeah, as soon as March Madness is done, then the NHL playoffs start.
Dave, I just really hope that MattyMan 5 Dodge 101 reaches out to us once again. We'll put this out there. Maybe we'll tag him on something where he wants to reach out and maybe join us on the show to give his explanation of his thought process for that posting that he had. I'm not mad at him, because if he doesn't like us, I get it. Not everybody has to like us. I totally understand that. But I just want to hear what his thought process might have been. MattyMan 5 Dodge 101. I hope that his girlfriend doesn't propose to him, because he sounds like the kind of guy who would say no just to spite her.
Possibly. I have no idea. All I know is he really likes the Dodgers. He really likes the Dodgers.
I do too.
Maybe he's an Ohtani fan. No, it was Dodger hate. It was specifically Dodger
Once your
hate.
moms and their sisters have watched this video, but here goes anyways. You're Dodger haters. You've hated Ohtani since he signed with them. You would take him, whatever your broken down team is, in a heartbeat. Do something else with your time. This isn't for you.
So when he says you've always been Dodger haters, does that
maybe he's listening before?
Yeah, maybe he's listening. How many? Do we have a lot of California listeners?
Well, I don't even know if MattyMan 5 Dodge 101 is from California.
Yeah, that's also true.
MattyMan 5 Dodge 101 sounds like he's from Alberta. The truck thing, one of those.
Maybe he was the guy that got proposed to on Saturday.
Maybe that's it.
And he was just so mad at these Dodger hating fools that when his woman that loved him and bore him his child had the audacity to want to make an honest man out of him.
He's taking it out on Brent and Dave from the 1420
He's
Sports
taking
Bar
it out
podcast.
on Brent and Dave.
For Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. This segment was brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. MattyMan 5 Dodge 101. Looking to hear from you.
How dare you propose to me?
Unbelievable.
Sorry.
Or completely believable, MattyMan.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your lot in life, MattyMan, but find a different group to get mad at.
Yeah, you picked on the wrong two Cowboys to fuck with, actually.
Because we don't give a fuck.
We're relentless. And we're good at it.
That's okay, MattyMan.
All right, MattyMan. Yeah.
Get your Velcro shoes on and come meet us at the bike racks.
Nice tank top.
Are you thinking of going to a game or a concert in the coming days ahead, or do you already have tickets and want to upgrade where you're sitting? It's simple. Go to SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. They have tickets for all sports going on right now, as well as concert tickets to shows throughout North America. And to make things even better, use promo code 1420pod, that's 1420pod, and receive $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app.
The 1420 Sports Bar podcast, for Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by Righteous Felon Jerky and RighteousFelon.com. Go to RighteousFelon.com and use promo code BELLYUP and save 15% on the best in craft jerky over there at RighteousFelon.com, and help support all the guys over at Belly Up Sports. We appreciate all the support you guys give us. And Dave, actually, I got to order some tomorrow. So it's down in Montana by the day after tomorrow.
Oh, you better, yeah.
Might be too late because of the holiday on Friday. Good Friday's there. Actually, before we get to this segment, I think we talked about it last year. And you're a God-fearing man, a Christian, a Catholic, the whole bit. You went to a Catholic school, the whole bit. And I think we talked about it maybe last year, or the year before. I've never really understood how Easter bounces around, because that's a pretty monumental occasion when a guy gets hung from a cross and then comes back to life a couple of days later, and it changes dates year to year. I've never really understood it. Like Christmas is the same every year. Like it's December 25th. Easter, she's a fucking crapshoot, man.
I don't understand how it works, but I know how it works. It's based on the Jewish calendar, because it's whenever Passover happens, and back in the day, whatever, it's moons up, moons down, and when this moon goes up, whatever the fuck that is. So that's why it bounces from late March to mid-April. There's, I think, a 3-week variance of when it can happen, but it's always based on Passover. And because that's
but Dave, you would think to be fair, you would think that the day a guy got nailed to a cross and came back to life 2 days later, that one would be like literally set in stone.
But it is set in stone because it was 2 days after Passover.
December 25th is always when the day Jesus was born.
But that's a made up day, right? We know that's a made up day. That's the day the Christians took over. That used to be a pagan holiday, and they said, no, we're going to take this away from the pagan holiday and make that a Christian holiday by telling everybody Jesus Christ wasn't born in December. Jesus Christ was born in who the fuck knows when. Yeah, no. But this is now a holiday because Jesus was crucified on the day before Passover, and they couldn't tend to his grave because of Passover, and it's all kind of shit like that.
I think that Easter should be April 17th every year.
Yeah, sure. I don't give a fuck.
Middle of April, starts getting nicer. I think it should be Easter. That's we kick off spring. That's my idea.
I think we should get rid of all religious holidays and just say, hey, like pick your three, whether you're Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, whatever. You get three.
That's it.
Well, plus your long weekends, which are your seculars, like May long weekend, New Year's. Like you get 3 religious holidays a year. And then Christmas stays as Christmas because that's not a religious holiday. That's just Christmas. Thanksgiving stays Thanksgiving.
Fuck, you're a hard ass.
I'm not a hard ass. I'm here for the people. I want them to celebrate whatever the fuck they want to celebrate. And it doesn't have to be because of the Christian religion. Who gives a shit? Just take your 3.
I thought you would more considering your upbringing and everything else. But anyways, Dave, the NCAA basketball tournament's happening, and it's always a fun watch. I watched a few games this weekend, in and out of stuff going on. The one game I was really tuned into was on Saturday afternoon. Your wife is got her master's at the Gonzaga University.
She's a Gonzaga alum.
And I saw Jasper. He was wearing your boy when he was at Spitz Stadium there on Friday afternoon. He was wearing a Gonzaga hoodie. They made a bit of a mess. They didn't want to clean up. But I thought, geez, boy, oh boy, it's another story for another day. But the Gonzaga Bulldogs, year in, year out, they lick the jar. Lick the jar like nobody else licked the jar for like 25 years now. For
a long time. Yeah.
And never get it done. And they beat Kansas and blew Kansas out on Saturday afternoon.
Which is a big win because Kansas is a blue blood.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those teams that's got a chance to win every year and everything else.
Yeah.
Is this a year we're not the biggest basketball guys? We watch it just enough to be interested, especially when it comes to NCAA time. But why can a team like the Gonzaga, it doesn't matter what sport, like Gonzaga is right there every year. They play in an okay conference, but they're there every year. Get the Sweet 16, the Grade 8, the Elite 8, or whatever it's called.
Well, they made the final game.
The odd Final Four. They get the odd here and there, but they never get it done. That's got to be almost as disheartening as it comes when your team is like, for the people of the great state of Washington and Spokane. That's got to be disheartening. Where every year you're just about there for a lot of years. Mark Few's been there for a lot of years. That's got to be a kick in the pills every year when they don't win.
It's of any other program, it's the little engine that could, but can't. But they get so fucking close
every year.
Everybody wants. And it's now to that point where I don't pick them for Final Fours anymore. I got burnt, 6, 7, 8, 10 years in a row by picking them as a Final Four or even a Sweet 16
or whatever it might be.
Yeah, ever since Adam Morrison, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Machismo. Yeah, the Pedro mustache wearing motherfucker who flamed out in the NBA. And then Mark Few as a coach, he's awesome. I listened to him in interviews. He's been recruited. Don't think he hasn't. People want him to coach where he can coach wherever the fuck he wants. And he says, "No, I'm going to stay here
Like
for
if you
less
think about
money."
it, he probably could have taken over for Krzyzewski at Duke.
Yeah, or a program that,
Right?
like honestly, yeah, they've been
But I'm
asking
good
him,
here. I got my house. I'm in Spokane. I'm good.
and it's the quality of life. And I don't know if anyone's ever been in that neck of the woods. It's a really cool place to live. Like there's fly fishing, and you're close to the mountains, and there's things to do.
Well, you're
And
close to us is the biggest thing.
yeah, and I've never been to a game myself. I haven't, but I've been to the campus 4 or 5 times now. It's a cool campus. Spokane's a cool city. Good for them. It's the little engine that can but can't. And it's too bad for that program. And then maybe now that I had them beating Kansas, but I have them losing next round.
They
It's
got
kind of
Purdue
funny.
next, I think.
Yeah, and I got Purdue going to the Final Four because I got to pick a Big Ten team, so I got them going to the Final Four. So we'll see what happens because of my Big Ten allegiances and my distrust of Gonzaga being able to win it all. But I'll be more than happy to watch Gonzaga win it all. I think that'd be really fucking cool. Do you know what's also kind of funny? Like you mentioned, my wife is an alumni there, and she has her master's from there. When tournament time comes around, she gets quite a good chunk of emails of like watching the team, and then like, hey, how about $100? How about $200? How about $1,000? Yeah. Oh fuck. Those schools are just goddamn relentless about asking for money. Like fuck, I paid you your money, and that's why I have this diploma here. So leave me the fuck alone. If it wasn't you, it'd be someone else sending me this money. Like, fuck, they love the donors. Wow, they love asking
donors make the American world go round. We won't get into that a whole bunch because it's a spicy subject, especially around election time and everything else. But
yeah.
What I find funny is with the NCAA tournament is like I watch 25 games a year. On Saturday afternoons, I'm around when I'm home. Games are on. I got TVs, and like I don't watch it. Like I'm not invested. But when it comes to the tournament, and you fill out your bracket, and I'm not even going to pretend that I know one person's name who plays NCAA basketball. I don't. I watch games. I'm good. I enjoyed NCAA basketball compared to NBA. I'll watch them Saturday afternoons, and then I'm done. But bracket time, I'll fill out my bracket just by past performances, what their record might be, because I don't read about it, and what I kind of just have a hunch. Sometimes go, maybe this team might do something. What I find funny is that two fucking middle-aged men, or not, well, I guess we're still middle-aged men who never played a game of basketball in their lives at a higher level other than the fucking, you might have played high school. We do just as well on a lot of our brackets as guys who this is their jobs. Like this is their jobs. We just go bing, bing. I'm done my bracket. I did the belly up one on Run Your Pool, I think on fucking last Wednesday.
Thank you for fixing that belly up.
Yeah, so I do that, and it's done. There's guys who take days from when it comes out on Sunday to when it comes to released on Thursday before, and I have better records than them. Like I just pick. I'm done in 6 minutes.
5 minutes. That's all. Like I don't want to spend more than 5 minutes because otherwise, I'll tell you a funny thing. Like I just in the Big Ten tournament, Nebraska has this. I don't even know his name. Kid from Japanese shot the fucking lights out. Oh look, if that takes fire, I'm gonna be on that wagon. Nebraska gone. It's shit like that. So I made picks and I had them doing upsets because I saw a thing like the day before I did my picks because I don't give a shit. I'll pick Duke to win a couple, but I don't have them going far. I picked Nebraska to go a couple, but I like not far. But every pool I did 4 of them. I got UConn winning every one because I wanted because I want to know who I'm cheering for to make it all the way to the end. So I got UConn winning it in every pool.
It's crazy. There are people who do follow it. I'm not disregarding them at all, because there are people who do follow college basketball to like how I follow baseball and how you follow football. But for anybody to say that they know anything about all 64 teams who make the tournament and the 4 playing games, whatever it is, they're lying. And if they do know that much, good on them. But you need to cool your jets, man.
And there's just so
Good
many
on them. I
pundits
should have said that,
yeah.
but
Well, you got to put your opinion out there, and because it's always fun to say "I told you so." But for all the pundits, all the talk shows, all the podcasts, all the college stuff, everybody has their picks, and everybody wants to be the one to have the screaming hot take saying "I told you so." There's not enough print to say, "Hey, what happened here? What happened here? What happened here?" Because it's so unpredictable. It's always been unpredictable ever since we were kids. That one of the rules of I always pick 2 12s to beat 5s. I don't care who the 12s are. I don't care who the 5s are. But a 12 always beats a 5, and I want to hit one of them. Missed this year. So, now I suck there. But like a 12 always gets a 5, and I don't care. But I'm not going to tell you why I did that. I go, oh, fuck, I like Virginia. For whatever reason, I like Virginia. They fucking...
You've been a Virginia guy. You have a Virginia hat. You've been sporting for 25 years now.
Well, it's not the same hat. It's my 3rd or 4th one.
Fuck. The same one. You just clean it. You make.
The one I have right now is fucking shiny new. Shiny.
Because Jasper has to scrub it, for fuck's sakes, probably.
Fuck. I'm going to let my kid wash my hats. I don't wash my fucking hats. I'm not going to ask him to do something I haven't done myself.
Jasper seems to me like he'd be a hat washer. He's a hat guy.
He is a hat guy. Fuck, that guy loves his...
If he gets a little bit of a smudge on his hat, to me, he'd be a hat scrubber.
Yeah, he
Toothbrush.
does touch... No, not quite like that. He has too many, for fuck's sake. And I want him to start buying more darker colors, because everything seems to be like the powder blue or white variety.
Yeah, that Cubs hat he's wearing at Stadium the other night. I was like, geez, that's going to be really dirty right away.
That purpley one or whatever. Yeah. So or not purpley, orange, like burnt umber.
Who is there a team that you hope never wins one? We talked I would like to see Gonzaga win one.
Same.
Is there a team that if they don't win another one, you'd be okay with?
Kentucky. I hate Kentucky. I've never liked Kentucky. I hated Billy Tubbs. I don't like Rick Pitino is as greasy as it fucking gets.
I think that's the greasiest person alive. Well, there's one or two orange guys more.
John Calipari is greasy. Like it's just fucking greasy. I don't like that franchise.
It's a franchise.
I don't cheer for Kentucky. I never cheer for Kentucky. I always want them to lose.
Michigan for some reason, Ohio State. I'm not a Big Ten guy. I think Big Ten can fuck.
We're seeing I'm a Big Ten guy, so I always root kind of for Big Ten, Purdue, Wisconsin. I don't mind those teams. Nebraska. I picked them to go a little bit deeper this year. I lean towards Big Ten, even though they really do underperform come tournament time. I think they get a little bit of the benefit of the doubt from the selection committee, and that is what it is. It's whatever, like it's TV. Ratings, and I get it. Yeah. So, that's who I like. I don't cheer for any SEC team. I hope they all lose. I don't like SEC. I'll
No.
cheer for. I don't like cheering for Big 10 teams, or sorry, Big 8 or Big 12, whatever the fuck. Baylor, Texas. Don't like those guys. I'll cheer for a Pac-10 team in basketball, and I'll cheer for the underdogs.
Underdogs.
Yeah, give me a Gonzaga, even though they're not really an underdog anymore.
Well, they still are, which is odd.
Yeah, give me a Butler. Give me who the fuck the ones that beat Kentucky, the Golden
Who
Grizzlies.
had that none? That fucking
St. Joe's out of Coaldale.
Coaldale. No,
Chicago. I think it was St. Joseph's. The Peacocks, wasn't it? I'm not 100% sure. And that's a team that
Mary.
Sister Mary, St. Joseph Ignatius, or something churchy. And I never cheer for churchies. I don't want churchies to win. I never want churchies to win. You should have prayed harder. Sorry, BYU. Sorry, Loyola Marymount. Sorry, whoever
Utah
the fuck.
State, whatever it was.
Yeah, should have prayed harder. If God cared, then you should have prayed harder.
We'll end this in half a second here, because that's a good point. When are people going to realize that God ain't watching? If you believe in the Jeebus up above or whatever it might be, and that's great. I think, you know what, to each their own.
Whatever gets you through the night. If
you pray for your team to win a basketball game, football game, hockey game, baseball game, whatever it might be, you're praying for the wrong thing.
Praying for the wrong thing.
Because I'm just saying, there's some shit going on in this world all the time. God ain't watching a basketball game, in my opinion. I don't know for sure. I've never met the guy. I've never talked to the guy. He's never talked to me. But I'm just assuming that Jeebus or God or whoever it might be, he's probably not watching that same basketball game you're watching.
Let's pretend God is a property manager. And so as God is managing this property, let's pretend God is managing this property we call Earth. So now this property manager, the toilet's flooding. It's overflowing. It is literally coming over, and there's water gathering in the basement.
Fecal matter flowing through the vents everywhere.
And he's up on the third floor because Sister Mary needs help opening a jar. Opening the jar is praying for basketball. The toilet flooding in the bathroom in the basement and collecting fecal matter is the world's problems right now. But he's going to make sure Sister Mary gets that fucking bottle of cherry preserves opened. Fuck.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's just priorities. Take care of the shit, and let's all have toast and crumpets a little bit later on once the shit's all cleaned up.
It is odd. It's so odd. I don't get it. Dave, ready to do a little who is better wrap up the Monday night show?
I do. I am ready to go. Oh, on this note, though, I wanted a quick mention. Yesterday, came across my Twitter feed. A movie was released 40 years ago yesterday. Did you catch that one?
No.
Great soundtrack. Well, not great soundtrack. All-time great song. The Breakfast Club. 40 years ago yesterday.
Jeez, you're old, man.
You're not old?
Oh,
you didn't watch that movie?
Oh, I watched the movie.
That was such a super movie. I don't know.
Empress Theater in Fort McLeod, man. I could do it for $2, probably.
I saw that one at the mall. I forget, Lethbridge Center, I believe is what it was. Fuck, I came out of that movie feeling just nice.
I watched that at the Empress in the fort there. Yeah, it's
as a 14-year-old. What a great movie. 40 years. The Breakfast Club is 40 years old yesterday. March 24.
Actually, it was what was it? It was 30 years ago yesterday that Wayne Gretzky beat fucking Gordie Howe's fucking all-time goals record. Got to 802. 30 years ago yesterday.
And that was as an LA King.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
I was at
8:55. Yeah.
I was at Poozer's, or with Poozer. We were at the Don Cherry's Grapevine, which became Time Zone.
Oh, Time Zones. I know exactly what you're talking about.
In 1994. Yeah.
Oh,
It was a Tuesday night or something. Yeah.
Fuck. It was
Crazy.
fun watching Gretzky play hockey back in the day, wasn't it?
He did pretty good.
He did just all right. And it was okay that I was a fan of his team too.
He did pretty good. Dave, let's do some Who is Better and Caller Night.
Okay.
First one here. Who is better? Last night, watched the Junos. He got the Junos. It's the Canadian version of the
American Music Awards.
The Grammys or something, kind of, sort of. And he got the all-time legend award or something. Who is better? Maestro Fresh West, Let Your Backbone Slide, or former New England Patriot, former Denver Bronco, Wes Welker.
Wes Welker by a fucking landslide. The fact that Maestro Fresh West got
He got a big award last night.
Oh, good for him. Like, for what? For having a hit in Canada? Like, I don't even know if that was even a blip on the radar screen south of the border.
Oh,
I don't mind the tune, and I do like the phrase "let your backbone slide." I have used that. That's a good turn of phrase. But the song itself, I don't own it. I will never own it. And good for him for his Lifetime Achievement Award. But I'd rather be Wes Welker catching passes from Tom Brady and then from Peyton Manning. It
was his birthday yesterday, too.
Peyton Manning. And then going to the fucking Kentucky Derby, all coked out and flipping hundies. That one
I don't know that.
Oh, yeah. He had in his fucking seersucker suit and a one of those bamboo hats and no socks and yeah. I don't know if he was coked out, but he was definitely on something. Yeah. So, but I'll still take Wes Welker. I'd rather his career than Maestro Fresh West.
Dave, number 2 on the night. Who is better? John Dalton, Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse, or Jonathan Toews, Blackhawks legend, Jonathan Toews?
You're saying this obviously because there's a Roadhouse remake. I
saw that yesterday. That's why I kind of brought it up. I didn't know there was. Jake Gyllenhaal, whatever his name is. I won't watch it because Roadhouse, iconic movie. That movie's iconic.
Damn near perfect as a fucking movie. As it doesn't need a remake. They could have done something else. So I too am not going to watch the new Roadhouse on
John Dalton or Jonathan Toews. This one's tight.
Jonathan Toews is a Hall of Famer, captain. Oh, it's not Captain Canada, but like he's so good, and I like the way he played. He was so important to those Canada teams that won
back in 2003 when he scored goals, fucking
like 5 in a row against the U.S. in the semifinals.
And then the Stanley Cups, but
3 of them.
But Roadhouse, man, he rolled in that town and he took care of business.
Roadhouse
John
was
Dalton.
It's so cheesy and it's just so. So what would have that been? 1992-ish kind of thing when a little.
Yeah.
God damn. Only because I'm such a huge Jonathan Toews fan. I really do like him a lot. I'm gonna give this one. This was like a 51-49 to Toews.
Really?
But
I thought you would have went fucking John Dalton from Roadhouse for sure.
John Dalton from Roadhouse.
The whole bit.
I forget the woman's name. I forget the woman's name. The actress that played the doctor that they had that John Dalton fooled around with and had sex with in that movie. But she's married to a movie producer. And then there's a thing. It's Bill Murray knows the guy, like he's the producer who is that woman's wife, Kelly Lynch, I think is her name. So he knows Kelly Lynch's husband, and so if Bill Murray is watching TV and Roadhouse is on, he'll watch it until the sex scene, and then he phones his buddy, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm just watching Patrick Swayze rail your wife."
Your wife. That's really funny.
That really cracks me up. So that's why it's there's so much, but like Jonathan Toews are gonna have to get us the one to Jonathan Toews.
That close, eh?
Yeah, it's that close. If it was something, if it was Dalton, whoever, like then this one would have been a Roadhouse for sure.
Dave, who is better? A guy who kind of got sidetracked a little bit. Something happened. I can't remember what the story was, but I found him quite funny. Let's keep his personal life out of this one. And a guy who just got back to coaching the Montreal Canadiens again after a little personal problem of his own. But who is better? Martin St. Louis, Hockey Hall of Famer, or Louis C.K.?
Oh, I always thought Marty St. Louis was a little bit overrated.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't dig on him. I thought he stole that Hart Trophy from Jerome McGinley that year. Even though I was not a Calgary Flame fan, he stole, like, that was an Eastern bias Hart Trophy for sure. He got all poopy pants with the fucking Lightning. And then he asked for a trade to and just get me out of town. And then he finished his career with the Rangers. So I didn't really care for that. Louis C.K. is a bit of a complicated one. He didn't go to Deshaun Watson, but his kink was asking people to watch him jerk off.
That was weird.
That's so weird. And it's too bad.
Like most people, I just want to do that by themselves.
You want to do it by yourself, and then but I understand if you're a female comic coming up on the scene and it's like, hey, do you mind watching me jerk off? That's not, I don't know. That's that gray area. Like, you can say no, but then maybe he's not gonna.
Gray. It's fucking mad. The lights better be off, man. Like, that's weird.
It's not a crime, but but then again, like, am I not going to be able? I'm not going to be able to open for you anymore if I don't watch you jerk off. Like, do you have to sign a thing? Like,
he was funny, but weird.
He was so funny. I love that guy's fucking stand-up. His stand-up is.
I was kind of hoping you wouldn't have went to the
Well, let's call a spade a spade. Like, this is what he did. Oh, Jesus! I just, and once again, it's not violence against women. It's just being so fucking creepy. But when you're that fucking funny, I'm gonna give this one 60-40 to Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. is really funny. Apparently, like, I watched a number of his shows, and he always has different shows. Like, nothing's the same ever. Like,
no,
he doesn't repeat jokes.
No, he doesn't repeat jokes, and even in the stand-up, he's really is quite enlightened, right? Like he had a whole thing on, like, we say wife beater. He goes like, so we're calling something a wife beater? Like, that's how you define something? Like, if you're going to wear this, like, as a woman, you have to worry about getting punched? Like, how is that? But he makes it funny, right? Like, it was his comedy was so great and on point, and the fact that he gets off on having other people jerk off, like, excuse me, that's a weird kink.
Well, everybody has their thing. It's weird. Yeah. Whatever. Everybody else is hiding from it. He's like, hey, come in.
Well, he is hiding from it because he hasn't released a special since that.
I got one more comedian one and one more rock star one. Dave, who is better? Father of two NHLers. Probably should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Keith Kachuk or Rolling Stones. This man will never die. Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. That guy, I don't know when they brought him out of the sarcophagus. He might have been born in ancient Egypt. He might be the fucking the vampire from Interview with the Vampire. He might be Tom Cruise. I don't know what the fuck that guy does. Keep kicking ass, Keith. Not even close. Keith Richards.
It's unbelievable.
He never showed up to training camp 100 pounds overweight.
You don't weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Keith Richards is an epiphany to human nature. Like, fucking
the shit that guy has done, like nicotine. Yeah, nicotine is his life force.
There isn't many shows he don't have a dart hanging out of his yap.
Yep.
And they've been around since the 60s.
He looked the same when I was in grade fucking 9. And that was 40 years ago, for fuck's sake.
Like, they've been around for 60 years.
Yes. 60. They were a band when the Beatles were a band, for fuck's sake. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones were active bands at the exact same fucking time. Think about that.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I don't know how much original shit he does anymore, but that guy can play a fucking riff.
Go and play Start Me Up and Satisfaction, whatever, man. Like, he can out there.
He farts that, right? Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam.
Last one for the night. Dave, who is better? Another comedian, Bill Burr, or the Buffalo Bills?
Oh, Bill Burr fucking cracks me the fuck up too. That guy's so fucking funny. I don't know if you ever saw that one where he was bombing in Philly and then he had to do 5 more minutes. So I owe you 5 minutes and this one, and then he just fucking shit on the town of Philly for 5 minutes. It's hilarious. The balls that guy has, he does not give a fuck.
He doesn't say anything wrong.
But he never says anything wrong. Yeah.
He's not wrong. Is he inappropriate? A little bit. But his delivery, context, and intent aren't wrong.
You bet. He plays to the audience.
Fantastic.
And his self-confidence is ridiculous. How he can go up and do that kind of shit. The Buffalo Bills are the Buffalo Bills. Like, they are what they are. They've made a bunch of Super Bowls and they're underachieving and they've licked the jar. And now they're kind of like the Cowboys without the titles, right? It's just like they're going to tell you how good they are and they're going to tell you how passionate they are and they're going to tell you but they're not going to show you how good they are. Bill Burr goes out there and shows you how good he is. And it's not even fucking close. Bill Burr fucking kicks a ton of fucking ass.
I love him. No, he's great. I watch him. We watch stuff all the time, like YouTube and everything else. Just watch. He's so real.
Yes,
he gets
and he's informed, right? He knows exactly what he's talking about. And then when like
he's not on one side or the other. He's very. You're both fucking stupid.
And
right?
like, he takes a step back, and I think to this one thing during when COVID first started coming through, and then he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan said to him, like, "Are you wearing a mask?" And then first thing Bill Burr said, "Just fucking stop. We're not getting into this. Are you a fucking doctor?" Well, no. Well, then stop it. Yeah, I don't fucking know. So, like, if they want me to wear a mask, I'll wear a fucking mask. I don't know what the fuck's going on here either. So stop it. Let's not get into this kind of shit because there's people that know more than us that are making these decisions. So, like,
I don't want to say he's the funniest guy I've ever seen because that changes every 10 years, right? So, but
there is.
I think that man gets it to my thinking.
He's at the top of the game, and he's crass, right? Like it's right now. Well,
I like him because he calls people out on their stupidity.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and like he honestly doesn't give a fuck. And
No,
and he can riff and he can do things and like,
tells his wife that she's stupid. His kids are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's stupid. That I'm stupid. He's like it's no. He's great. He's super fantastic. Even though he's from Boston, I can forgive that, I guess. But
yeah, that's not his fault, right?
it's not mine. Yeah, Bill Burr. No, he's an all timer. Like that guy. That if there's a comedy Hall of Fame, which I'm sure there is, he's in. There's no getting around that. That guy is fucking great.
The comedians I really quite love right now is him and Jim Jeffries and Nate Bargatze. And Nate Bargatze's totally PG. That guy cracks me the fuck up too. And it's a pretty rare PG comic that can make me laugh the way that guy makes me laugh. But I love comedians. I search for them on Netflix and HBO. I watch stand-ups all the time, and I like that kind of shit.
No, I've been a stand-up guy forever. You go back to like Dice Clay or Eddie Murphy back in the day with fucking Raw and Delirious and that shit. Like Jesus, like you look at. We'll wrap this up in here in a second, but if you listen to Delirious, Eddie Murphy,
that really did age that well, but it's still kind of funny. Yeah,
I'm sure Kaylee would not let Jasper watch that.
I remember watching that. My folks were away. We
ass off.
Oh fuck! I had buddies over. We had a sleepover. My parents were away with my brother and sister. I was in grade 9, and I had buddies over, and we didn't smoke pot. We didn't even drink beer. We just fucking made popcorn and watched dirty fucking movies all night. And Delirious fuck. We watched that back to back. We watched that 2-3 times over the course of the weekend. Fuck, I knew that.
I don't know anymore, but I knew that word because there's a tape as well, not so VHS. But I knew that word for word in Fort McLeod, Alberta, where there wasn't black people. It was
and the little brown shark came.
Yeah.
And no, yeah, that's it. I agree with you. Like stand up.
Goody goo goo.
Yeah, goody goo goo. What the fuck is goody goo goo?
I can laugh now. 50-year-old Brent. I can look back and laugh. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that 13-year-old Jasper is allowed to look at that and laugh.
No, I don't think we're allowed to. Yeah, like it didn't age well, but it was of the time, and he meant nothing. He was just being fucking hilarious. That's all he was doing. That's all he was doing.
Dave, you got one more to wrap her up tonight, and we'll call it a night. Monday night. Good show. Turned out well.
It has been a good show, and I like conversing, and it's kind of nice when we get to express opinions and move around and not really know where the show is going.
Well,
speaking of which, we talked about it last week with what I am enjoying is we brought music back into the equation a little bit, and Jim has been fucking killing it with the outro music. But Jim, I don't know if you listened to the last one. We asked for Winning It All. He went with Remedy and the Black Crowes. So who am I to bitch about the Black Crowes? But we asked for Winning It All. So I would like now, would you rather, Brent?
Yes.
Outro music tonight. Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes or So Hard by Sass Jordan?
Oh, fuck me. That's a tough one. Because I spend all night holding back, holding tight because it's so hard. And sometimes, hey, little thing, light your candle because it's I'm sure so hard to handle now. Oh, man. That's a tough one because I fucking tell you what, Mike Davis, this goes back a lot of years. I mean, we're old. There was a time that Mike Davis, he had a geo tracker from the Skoogles Park.
Just like it's a golf cart with a cap on it, basically, right?
The cap off, basically, yeah. The geo tracker.
Yeah.
We were cruising the mean streets of Fort McLeod. And this geo tracker, red, the white lid off. And we fucking and we would play like no bass, all treble.
Because that's what So Hard is.
So Hard by Sass Jordan. I love that tune. But Hard to Handle. Oh, that is such a good song.
But that's a cover. Black Crowes didn't write that tune.
Oh, but it's
and our American.
The Black Crowes did such a good job of that. That's a fucking 51-49. But you know what? I'm going to give this one to the Canadian. Sass Jordan. Sass Jordan, 51-49. Oh, yeah. So hard. So hard, baby. I bend all night, hold back, holding tight because it's so hard. I'm going So Hard. 51-49. So Hard over Hard to Handle.
Please give that to us tonight, Jim. I was hoping you were going that way, even though I'm a huge Black Crowes fan. And our American listeners, you're going to hopefully be listening to a treat right now.
She's a life changer.
Well, this tune is.
I love that tune.
It's a great tune. It came across. The reason I'm even asking this, I had the music on shuffle, and that popped up. The first thing I did was turned it up. I turned that fucker right.
Big treble, loud.
I just cranked the volume. I'm okay with it.
Oh, I don't hear it. I
can Sass, and I can even remember, she had the picture of it, you know what I'm saying,
that was the second CD I ever bought in my life. Sass Jordan.
No, I never did own a CD. I just bought it I just bought it on the Apple Tunes, but nonetheless, yeah.
No, I bought the CD.
That's
good.
That is a good one. So
Dave,
turn it up
tonight, once again.
I enjoyed myself, and I hope everybody that was here with us tonight enjoyed it as well. What's his name? Danny Boyd.
MattyMan 5 Dodge 101.
DM us. We're more than happy to have you on the show.
I would really like some fan interaction for MattyMan Dodge or Man 5101, whatever it is.
Whatever. Just as long as you have the capability to get onto, because I really want to see what you look like and where you're recording.
I'm hoping that his wife wasn't the one who proposed and he wasn't angry with us, because MattyMan Dodge 5101 or whatever it is. MattyMan 5 Dodge 101.
Well, it's a time of the season where, we got all this snows and they gotta get out there. It's calving season now, so maybe that fucker has to get out there and yank a couple calves out. I don't know what this.
Whatever. MattyMan, I want to hear from you. I love your interaction. I think it's great. You're passionate. You're a Dodger fan. You love it. I get it. Get back to us. We'll get back to you. Our people, your people will talk. No?
That's it. No, we're not hiding.
Let's have a adult conversation.
Yeah.
And you tell us what we said was wrong.
Yeah. That's it. Explain yourself.
Because maybe he's right.
Maybe we are wrong.
Maybe we're wrong. There's a good chance you will not convince Dave and Brent that we're wrong, because that's not who we are.
Because all we were saying is it's fishy.
It's just fishy.
It's fishy. Just tell us why it's not fishy. And then you can go your own way, and you can do your thing, and we can go our thing, and do our thing, and you can go back to work, and you can give us our prize.
MattyMan, there it is. Anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. Four Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. Take care of each other, but more importantly, take care of yourself. So you right. Stick in the ice somewhere else, Dave.
I don't want to see Jim swing at high pitches.
And I want to hear some sass from Jordan. Take it out with a little sass.
So hard, so hard. Good night, Jim. Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
folks. We'll talk to you guys on Thursday.
Thursday night.